none of those prison people have come back to my office. And in fact, we are now closing private prisons right now because they're out of state. But we still have a lot of work to do. We're on the cusp of just changing the way we do corrections and rehabilitation so that we can make this neighborhood much better, so we can clean up the streets in ways we never have. Hopefully you work with me, because this is probably one of the most important things I could ever do as an assemblyman. Thank you. AB 413. You call government, I represent you, don't. Okay.
Moving right along. The first thing, the Education Committee. Martha, do you have any announcements for the Education Committee?
Well, just mainly that I'm trying to work out with the schools. I'm visiting them to ask them what is the resources that they need, and we're trying to make a plan so that we can help out the schools. As you see, and as maybe you're aware, there's a lot of violence going on right now in our neighborhood, so it's really affecting the kids and with their behavior. So we have to really start. I was thinking that I have at Assemblyman Sawyer that he wants to really work for the nonprofits, and hopefully too for the people that us, like we are community leaders, and that we want to be sure that we will have the resources for them, because there's we can have like a lot of from mental health offices from the government saying that they can help us, but we really don't have nothing that will be like ASAP that we can relate them to. Some of the clinics that are around here, sometimes they say that they have to go through a process, and then it takes a long time. You know, it's like a lot of red tape, and kids need the help now. So last week I took a workshop of opening doors, abriendo puertas, and I'm going to start teaching at the schools. I'm going to go and ask them if they want to have those parenting classes, because they will be, for us, another way to organize ourselves as parents and be active in our community. Because we really need the resources, and when we're talking about education, we have to make sure that we let them know how things are going to be done, that we need them to get involved. Everybody has to be involved, because we really don't have another resources around here that we can say we can relate to it. And that's where we are, you know, like everything just comes up in the air, and then just, that's the way it stays. And so if we want to have some things to change, we really have to really emphasize and really focus on really trying to get a good committee. Right now I'm in charge of the committee for education. So if you have any ideas and suggestions, I'm more than open to hear them. And then, you know, let's work as a community. Let's just, you know, let the guns be bygone, and let's start afresh to start making a difference in our area. Because we are needy, we're still here, and we're not going to go nowhere. So let's make this a better place for our kids.
So I will tell you that what the governor just signed, we redid the grants because they weren't getting to you.
I know.
First time people. So when you, it's up in January, when you apply, those grants are specifically for first time nonprofits. And the CBOs that they usually give to, we're trying to give groups like you an opportunity, and we're going to give you some technical assistance to make sure you're able to fill those out, because I believe that you're on the street, you're doing it. 10,000, 20,000 to you is huge, as opposed to some of these people are trying to get $1 million. I'm trying to get smaller grants to as many groups as possible. So this money that's going out in January, it has your name on it, so please apply. Please apply. And Days are awesome. Raise your hand. She get her card, and we'll make sure you get it. And anybody else that has a nonprofit that deals with young people in trauma, we make that happen.
Thank you. Any questions? No complaints?
Okay. Next, the social media officer, would you like to explain what you've been up to?
Hi everybody, my name is Amanda. I'm social media officer with the Florence-Firestone Community Leaders. So I've been working a lot on the website. So if you guys after the meeting want to come by and take a picture of the note that I have here of all of our social media platforms and the email address for our president, Dominic Medina. On Facebook, we're Florence-Firestone Community Leaders. And on YouTube, it's Florence-Firestone Community Leaders. And the webpage, www.florence-firestone.org. And for the email, it is ffclpresident@florence-firestone.org. So feel free to check us out. Thank you.
I have a question.
Regarding the email we sent, when we sent emails, did I email forward and go to specifically?
Directly to me.
Directed to you?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You got a question over here?
No. I was just asking if anyone.
Oh. Public safety, would you like to speak,
Oh,
please?
yeah, thanks. My name is William Allen. I'm the public safety chair here at Florence-Firestone Community Leaders. I don't need this, do I? Can y'all hear me? Okay. Yeah, you know, as public safety chair, there's a lot of issues and concerns right now in the community. One are the recent homicides. We had a few homicides when they put this new school over on 75th and Central. There was 13 immediate homicides within 3 months, which was the red flag. And what bothers me the most about this is that that's the old juvenile court building. And back in 1994, they put the same school there. And they had closed it. It was there for 20 years. And they closed that school because of all the infighting with the Swans, East Coast Crips, Kitchen Crips. They shut that school down. So why bring it back? And when you bring it back within 3 months, well, bam. Okay? Just 2 weeks ago, we had 2 more murders on 64th and Central. So this is the issue. And see, that school was put there with no community input, but the school did come here and ask could they partner with us. You know what I told them? I have no issue with you partnering with us as long as you coordinate with our gang interventionists or inner city who works with the Florencia over here. Because we all know there was a 20-year war between the Florencia and those gangs over there. That war lasted 20 years. I mean, I came back from Iraq and right into a war. Another war. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, that's an issue. Okay? So, I can only do so much. And I'm asking for support. Because what we need, we have a public safety committee, and we're doing a lot of things. We go to the Empowerment Congress, which is Mark Whitney Thomas's committee, and right now we're in the process of trying to recommend to him what we can do to better the mental health issues that's causing all this. And believe me, our kids are traumatized. You know what? And you hit it there, Rich, Ms. Sawyer. You hit it right on the head. That is a serious issue. And how are we going to fix that? You know what? I can talk about it all day, but it's just me talking. But if I get a whole community talking, coming to this meeting, come join our meeting, okay? Come and support us at these Empowerment Congress meetings. We can do that. We're in good shape. If you want to join us in that, see me after this meeting. I'll get your name, your email address, and I'll let you know when these meetings are so we can tackle this together. But when they see us coming in force of Florence-Firestone, they know we mean business. All right? All right.
I have a question.
Okay, let me finish and then you ask me for I think I got a lot of stuff here. So let me just hold the questions, okay? I got a lot of issues here. So the safety ain't no joke. All right? I mean, that's just talking about mental health. Then we got safe passages. We have two high schools in Florence-Firestone. Amino, Pat Brown, Diego Rivera. They have issues of safe passage. And Gabby's over there, bless your heart. Thank you for coming. She's a student, stand up, Gabby. She's a student coordinator for over at Pat Brown. Right behind, just east, on the east side of the railroad tracks of Washington High School. Remember that tunnel that was going through there? A lot of those kids were getting beat up and assaulted and all kind of things. And we finally got that thing shut down. They closed it, finally. Yeah. So
Not yet, but
yeah.
November. They're closing it in November.
They closed it in November. Still open. They closing it
But
though.
soon.
Drive by there sometime, look at the activity. You'll be surprised. I won't say impressed, but you're gonna be surprised. Okay? So safe passage is the issue. 2 weeks ago, over at Diego Rivera, I'm gonna move over to Diego Rivera right now, they had a public safety meeting. And the staff there brought in a couple of the students. 3 female students who talked to us and told us that they're concerned. The first girl got up, she said, you know, when I walk home and go down Central Avenue, I get tired of people harassing me. You know, here's a young girl, and you got grown men, you know, catcalling her. So how do you stop that? Well, that's what the public safety committee is going to talk about, because there are ways of doing that. There are ways of fixing that, all right? But she's afraid to take alternate routes because there's an alley there, and that alley is a place you don't want to go in. Okay? So and then she said, I go by the park, I had the same issue. Well, the park has got the sheriff, you know, the sheriff parks there, and they're working with the school, so they're dealing with that. Okay? The next young lady came up and she said, well, you know, I had the same problem too. You know, I get happy and said, but I feel safer around the school. It's when I travel further away, it's when I have these issues. Okay? It's when I have these concerns, you know, it's when I feel unsafer. So we got to look at ways to help them with that. And then you get bullying and all that. And Dominic, where you at? Dominic came with an excellent idea that we talked today. Dominic said, you know, and Reggie, you might want to help us with this. Because one solution is to start vetting community members and create safe houses. They put little red flags on their door or in their business. So when the student is walking home and someone's harassing them or bothering them, they can go in that safe place. But that safe place needs to be vetted. Okay? So that's a possible solution there, sir. If you want to help us with that, that would be very helpful. Okay? So these are things we're looking at, working at. This is what it takes when a community works together. Okay? Come up with these ideas. I'm pretty sure there's some more great ideas out there also. Like just people standing outside, you know, when school is out, you know? Grown folks. You know, just standing out there. You know?
does that.
Yeah, there you go.
University
Yeah, there you
in
go.
Southern California pays people to wear vests
Yeah,
because the students feel unsafe,
there you go.
right?
Yeah.
They're standing in every corner,
Okay.
and we can't do that to our kids.
Yeah, there you go. But we should.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Okay, so it's going to take us to do this. All right, I got some more stuff here. Okay. So, that's basically it. But I got a special guest here. I want to introduce Oya. Oya Sherrill. Her dad is the one that broke the peace between the East Coast Crips and the Bloods during that crisis. He's back east now doing this thing. But she is now the director of the Reverence Project, which is help victims of crime. But we also, in the city also does that too here in Florence-Firestone. But she lives here. You know, she lives on 92nd. You know that house on, was it 90th? 90th and Hooper, right?
Yeah, in that area.
I'm not going to say that. She lives over that way, okay? We'll leave it at that, okay? I'm sorry. Thanks for catching me, girl. Almost did it. Yeah, you're going over that one. When you told you, it's all my fault. Okay, you want to speak this, you know, take a few minutes to say what you do and what, you know, all year?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me here. At the Reverence Project, well, we're based in Watts, and so yeah, I stay on at the intersection of Watts and Florence-Firestone. I've been, native of this community. I graduated actually from Drew Middle School, and but I also went to Markham Middle School. You know, long story, but what we do at the Reverence Project is we provide services to victims and survivors of crime. But we focus around alternative healing services. So even though we will provide referrals to LCSWs and MSWs, we take a peer approach. And we also introduce folks to different kinds of healing practices. We center healing as our key strategy. And when I say healing, I'm talking about healing the trauma that most of the folks have been speaking on today, right? We are outreaching especially especially to those who have been survivors of gang violence, but any kind of survivor we offer services to. So whether it's domestic violence or CSA, which is childhood sexual assault, we are providing services, one-on-one peer counseling, as well as something that is kind of unique. We do caravans to what we call the V-Spa, where folks get introduced to massage therapy, hydrotherapy, what is called heliotherapy, which is a salt therapy. These are things that actually help us to regulate the stress in our bodies, like helping us to physically bring down our blood pressure, and also treat like headaches that might come from trauma. But we also have an advocate that provides grief counseling, and we have an advocate that particularly provides counseling for those who have survived sexual assault. So we have a wealth of services, even though we're a really small organization. Another thing that we do is we have a public safety strategy, which is why Ms. Allen and I are really good friends over here, right? We have a public safety roundtable for the Watts-Willowbrook area that we run every other Thursday. And there we, like you guys are doing, we're inviting folks to come in, bring their public safety concerns, and also share with us, like, what are their solutions? Because, like, all of you here, we're the ones that are going to save us. You know what I mean? Additionally, we run a 10-week program for youth ages 16 to 30 called the Community Sentinels Leadership Program. For these youth, we are training the next generation of public safety professionals. So they're getting specialized certifications, CPR, violence intervention prevention, even restorative justice. And they also get to learn healing practice along the way, so that whatever public safety career they choose, be it community intervention or law enforcement, that they have like really great tools to start their careers off with. So, yeah. Any questions? Yes, please.
Would you please get her card and apply to the youth
Yeah.
investment fund?
It's already here.
And kind of,
You said it's every other Thursday, Willow Brooks area.
yeah, we're at the Children's Institute on 102nd Street. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday will be our next meeting.
And is that Ms. Inez?
From
Yeah, what's-
6 to 7:30.
PM?
No, I don't have a question. I was just gonna make a comment when you were talking about the school over here on Central Avenue. And I think there's a direct correlation between the gentrification of neighborhood and when people being pushed out over there.
Oh, yeah.
and over here.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. In fact, when they closed, what happened was, when they gentrified Inglewood, they kicked them out of their building over there. And the only place they, and then, let me speak, I'm gonna have to speak very generic here, because I don't know the details. But they put that school over there in that building, because there was no place else for it to go. And she was doing great work over there. I mean, for the black and brown kids, Ken was doing great work. But why they put it there? I mean, they should have talked to us. We should have told them. In fact, they did. And there was a letter sent out, but they didn't listen. They didn't listen. That's what bothers me. No one listens to us. But they got to start listening to the people that live in the community, man, because we know what's going on. Let me get back to Orchid real quick. We have inner city. Alfred Lomas has done the same kind of program she's running. So I'm gonna connect you two up. You know Alfred though. You know Alfred Lomas, right? You don't know Alfred Lomas? Well, I'm gonna have to hook you two up. He's supposed to be in dinner tonight, but he's not. So I'm gonna have to get you guys talking. Because you guys run the same thing, you know, almost. And a little bit different. A little bit different, but still, you can collaborate.
Yes,
Keep coming back, okay?
I am.
Okay, cool. All right. So before I go, I want you folks to know our mission here at Florence-Firestone. Our mission is this. The purpose of our organization, the Florence-Firestone Community Leaders, is to improve the quality of life in Florence-Firestone and the delivery of Los Angeles County services to its residents. That's what our mission is. Nothing else. And we need people to help run our subcommittees. Because we have about 7 of them now, right? 7 subcommittees that actually do the work. Public safety is one, education is one, we have social media. That's it. And we have about 4 more that are unmanned. Like economic development, the chamber is working on that one. Code enforcement, that no one's running right now. And code enforcement is those regulations that run our community, good parking, people, parking on their lawns and stuff, raising their chickens in the backyard, those kind of things. That's what code enforcement does. But we need people to help run those committees. And right now, Dominic and Amanda needs a social media team. So, Gavin, if you can help us with students to help work our social media, that'd be helpful. It's only to fulfill this mission. You know what I'm saying? Only to fulfill that mission. If you can help with that, that would be helpful. So if you can get with her after that, maybe you can do something. Okay. So that's all I got. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Ron. As a special guest, we have today Senator Holden Winter.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me. As I sat listening to the public safety report, I thought, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Because that certainly was my experience years ago, 40 years ago, walking home from middle school and high school. And so we have to figure out how to reclaim our communities and create safe spaces. The city for many years had grants called safe passages for schools, where parents could get the orange and yellow vests. And you could map out and you could apply for the grant. I don't know if those dollars are still available, but the safe passages issue is really critical. Safe in terms of the experience girls are experiencing walking home, and safety in terms of gun violence. So thank you for having me here today. As Reggie said, I serve in the state senate, and I am proud to chair the state budget committee for the state senate. And I wanted that job when I ran for office because I used to be the CEO of Crystal Stairs and served this area by providing resources for child care and after-school care for residents of this community. And it was doing that job when the state cut funding to subsidize child care and after-school programs that I got mad enough to run for office. Because I wanted to go where the action was and be on the budget committee to make different kinds of decisions. And so we are now in a position to make different kinds of decisions. And we put money back into $50 million this year into after-school programs. The legislature cut $1 billion out of subsidized child care in 2008. We have now been able to put that back in. And so I ran for office because I wanted the opportunity to invest again in California, in our infrastructure, in our communities, and in Californians. And I'm proud that we're beginning to do that again. And having these kinds of community conversations are important so we can hear the issues, you can hear about the work we're doing, so we can make sure that we're on the same page. In addition to the amazing work the Assemblyman has done, in this year's budget, we also put money for mental health services in schools, because that's where kids are. It's teachers and school officials who oftentimes see the early signs, the early manifestation of trauma and mental health issues. And so for the first time in many years, we've been able to invest again to really try to get every school in LAUSD and across the state money to have nurses and school psychologists again. And so those at the school base. So not only are the community-based organizations getting resources, but at the school site. So it's going to take a minute to ramp it up. But we've invested again to make sure that those services are available K-12. So I've been in public service 30 years. You heard my Crystal Stairs history. Have now been in the legislature since 2010, first the Assembly and now the Senate. My district doesn't come quite this far south. But the work that we do as state legislators has impact statewide. I'm very proud of the work that I was able to do this year around housing affordability. The governor signed for me yesterday a bill that prevents people landlords from discriminating against source of income. Veterans vouchers and Section 8 vouchers, where people would have a voucher and it would expire before they could find a landlord who would take it. And so we're working